Medium format cameras have come a long way in the past few years. Fujifilm in particular has pushed medium format cameras out of their comfort zone of high-end portraits, products, and automobile photography. Their GFX series challenges the idea that medium format cameras are too bulky, restrictive, or expensive for most photography or video work. Today, Fujifilm has pushed the envelope yet again. We have our hands on Fujifilm's GFX 100S2 mirrorless medium format camera and their GF 500mm f5.6R LM-OIS-WR lens. The GFX 100S2 utilizes a new GFX 102 megapixel CMOS II sensor with their X Processor 5 imaging engine for up to 8 stops of in-body image stabilization, 7 frames per second burst photos, AI-assisted autofocus, and more that we'll get into later in the video. Their GF 500mm f5.6 lens is approximately a 396mm full-frame equivalent. It features 6 stops of image stabilization and compatibility with their 1.4x teleconverter to extend its range to a 554mm full-frame equivalent. The GFX 100S2 and 500mm f5.6 make using medium format cameras for wildlife photography feasible. So, we decided to put it to the test to see if we can enjoy the benefits of medium format sensors for wildlife and even a bit of sports photography. The GFX 100S2 uses Fujifilm's latest 102 megapixel CMOS II sensor with their X Processor 5 imaging engine to deliver beautiful results. Like its predecessor, the new 102 megapixel sensor captures up to 16-bit RAW photos at a base ISO of 80. However, the GFX 100S2 has 30% more dynamic range than its predecessor for improved performance when shooting in high dynamic range scenarios. Images look beautiful out of the camera thanks to Fuji's generous assortment of built-in film simulations and grain controls. For those unfamiliar, Fuji's film simulations pull from their history as a photographic film manufacturer to recreate the look and feel of their most popular film stock in their digital cameras. These range from options like Velvia, or Vivid, inspired by slide stock for vibrant colors and contrasting images, to Astia, or Soft, for more natural skin tones with subtle contrast. Those familiar with Fujifilm's film simulations will be pleased to know that they've included Rela Ace from the GFX 102 and Fujifilm X106. For photographers who process their images, the GFX 100S2's 102 megapixel resolution, 16-bit RAW files, and impressive dynamic range will provide a ton of flexibility for editing. 102 megapixels is a ton of detail to work with. I enjoyed taking landscape photos and zooming in to see what kind of minute details I could see across the street or a river. While shooting outside on a bright spring day, we appreciated the 16-bit RAW files and the camera's incredible dynamic range for portraits. We could shoot confidently without blowing out our highlights or losing our shadows, even in incredibly high contrast scenarios. However, 16-bit files are only available in single-shot drive mode on the GFX 100S. To utilize the burst mode, you must scale it back down to 14-bit RAW or shoot in a compressed format like JPEG or HEIF. As beautiful as the images are from the GFX 100S2, it doesn't make sense if the camera's too cumbersome to use. Thankfully, Fujifilm kept the GFX 100S2 compact and lightweight. Measuring 5.9 by 4.1 by 3.4 inches and weighing 1.95 pounds, the GFX 100S2 is slightly lighter than its predecessor. The size and weight of it feel comparable to weather-sealed full-frame camera bodies. It has a decent grip that is comfortable to work with and feels balanced with Fujifilm's medium format lenses. We paired it with Fujifilm's new 500mm f5.6 for a bird outing to see how well it handled while hiking through Inwood Hill Park, and it did not disappoint. First, Fujifilm's GF 500mm is easy to work with thanks to its size and weight. Measuring 9.4 inches long and weighing about 3 pounds, the lens fits right in line with most full-frame mirrorless lenses of similar focal length and maximum aperture. It's still a big lens, but it's manageable to walk around with and easy to maneuver when you're ready to take a shot. It also benefits from up to 6 stops of optical image stabilization. I felt comfortable working with this combo without a monopod because it's light and stable enough to use without one. The 500mm lens results in approximately a 400mm full-frame equivalent when using the full GFX sensor, but if you need the extra reach, you can always engage the full-frame crop mode to get the full 500mm. If not enough, you can pair the lens with Fuji's 1.4x extender to get up to 700mm. This lens is exceptionally sharp. It utilizes 5 ED and 2 Super ED elements for controlling aberrations, distortions, and other optical imperfections. There's so many details that you can see when you punch in on 102 megapixel images. The upgrade from the X Processor 4 to 5 imaging engine increases the image stabilization from 6 stops on the GFX 100S to 8 stops on the GFX 100S2. Increases the burst photo mode from 5 to 7 frames per second when taking photos with a mechanical shutter, and powers an AI-assisted autofocus system that uses machine learning to detect a wide range of subjects. I found the autofocus really easy to work with. At times, it found subjects faster than I did. After the bird outing, we tested the GFX 100S2 with some light sports photography during a friendly soccer match. To be fair, 7 frames per second is not very fast in 2024 after we've been spoiled by cameras that take photos quickly enough to outpace video frame rates. However, none of the cameras that shoot at high speeds pack as much resolution as the GFX 100S2. The GFX 100S2 may not be fast enough for professional sports photography, but casual photographers will enjoy the incredible reach that can be attained when the GFX 100S2 is combined with a lens like the new GF 500mm, an extender, or cropping in on its 102 megapixel sensor. The X Processor 5 image engine also improves the GFX 100S2's video capabilities. The camera can shoot up to 4K 30p and 10-bit 422 internally, and inherits features from the GFX 102, such as F-Log2 recording, Frame.io integration, and direct-to-SSD recording. And yes, it still supports external output of ProRes RAW and Blackmagic RAW natively. No firmware updates are required. Out of the box, filmmakers and content creators can capture professional quality video and easily intercut footage with Fuji's other cameras, like the GFX 102 and XH2. Fuji's update to its GFX 100S includes many quality of life improvements over the previous model. Owners of the original GFX 100S may be hesitant to upgrade because on paper it doesn't sound like the new GFX 100S has a standout feature that sets it apart from the original. But if you're starting from scratch or transitioning from a different camera system, then it's a no-brainer that the GFX 100S2 is the better choice. The new GFX 100S shoots faster, has a more intelligent autofocus system, an extra 2 stops of image stabilization, 10-bit 422 internal recording, more film simulations, the new F-Log2 profile, Frame.io integration, and a significantly sharper EVF. When paired with the new GF 500mm lens, the combo becomes versatile enough to accommodate wildlife and casual sports photography. And once again, while it's not fast enough to compete with full-frame and crop sensor cameras in frames per second, the GFX 100S2 laps the competition regarding resolution. Thanks to the GF 500mm lens, photographers can match the composition they'd achieve with smaller sensor camera bodies, and then use the GFX 100S2's 102 megapixel sensor to punch in and recompose shots dramatically closer to the action. The GFX 100S2 and the new GF 500mm lens are excellent options for professional creatives ready to take their first steps into medium format camera systems without sacrificing the versatility they've become accustomed to with full frame or crop sensor camera bodies. What are your thoughts on the GFX 100S2 and GF 500mm f5.6 lens? What's holding you back from testing out medium format photography? Is it speed, size, or cost? Let us know in the comments below. I'm Jabari with B&H. Have a stellar day.